2020. Tough times, huh? Among many things that one could do to fill the substantial amount of free time that we've had across the past few months, the most praised are often the most productive. Working out, cooking, reading books, managing your finances, meditating, learning a new language, creating, growing, blah blah blah. However, as harmful or unproductive as screen entertainment may be, I believe it is acceptable, desirable even, to enjoy a nice moment of complete chill by watching what I would say is one of the most interesting medium of our days, animes. I'll talk some other time about why I quite firmly claim that anyone should give it a try. The real topic of this video, the true title, would be how to watch animes to maximize the enjoyment all the while being just a little bit reasonable in order to become another member of the most prestigious group of people on this planet, men and women of culture. Timing and frequency. Nailing a good timing is crucial to enjoying this great art that is anime, all while maintaining some sort of decency in the way you spend your time, aka not becoming a shut-in. I'll give a couple of facts, more or less scientifically proven. Here they are. For real, I'd argue that 2 points are crucial. As far as timing is concerned, you have to be intentional in taking the time. Take your time. Dedicate a moment to your watching. Though it's highly tempting, playing an episode while cleaning or making homework is twice as stupid. We were not made to multitask properly. When we do, we lose part of our focus. As much as possible, skip watching during the day, during homework, or when playing some game on your phone. It's only harming your experience, since you'll necessarily be less concentrated and waste part of the emotional impact of the show. If only watching remains unbearable, maybe you should try a different show. Maybe the one show you're watching isn't made for you. Alright, maybe some monsters with way too many episodes are understandably watchable while doing something else, if there are parts that you don't want to skip but are a little bit boring. Timing is also strongly linked to frequency. I personally rhythm my watching sessions at 0.0000012 Hz. Oh, that's too scientific! Well, it's basically equivalent to once a day. What I would argue is the ideal schedule is to dedicate between 30 and 120 minutes to your watching sessions after you've eaten in the evening. That way, in theory, you're free of many considerations, and if you get to it at around 8 in the evening, you can stop in time to get to sleep at a reasonable hour. But how is that any different from classic series and movies then? Well, I would say there are two differences: implication and duration. A movie requires at least roughly 2 hours of your time. Most of us can't dedicate a session each day to that on a regular basis. There's not as much continuity as in an anime that pushes you to watch regularly. As far as series go, I noticed that watching an anime is almost always a deep, almost friendly experience in a way. I don't really know how to phrase it, but overall I've been much more emotionally engaged and impacted by anime. Many more characters have inspired me philosophically. I've been hit by the rise of tears many more times than when I watched live action shows. Plus, the soundtrack and voice acting, that's a huge asset for most good anime. All of it together makes me feel like one should take more time, put on headphones, and engage with the show when watching an anime. Of course, there are some really impactful live action shows out there, that's not the question. But very rarely have I seen an anime and thought I would be better off watching at a random moment in okay conditions, as it's the case for quite a number of classic series. But I can't do this, I can't help binge watching all of them! Well, I don't care. In fact, the only thing I care about is eating nice and juicy vegetables. But from my experience and a couple of studies, I encourage you to look it up by yourselves. Watching between 1 and 6 episodes per day is close to ideal. It lets events sink in when they happen, give you time to get really used to and attached to the characters, and doesn't hinder the enjoyment at all once you get used to it. In fact, It makes it all the more appealing, looking forward to your daily session to finally know what happens to Kaede Kayano. My second and last advice would be to try and make it smart. It is possible to make watching just a tiny little bit intelligent. As before, remember, try and be intentional. The ability to focus or inability to do so is nurtured by our habits of media usage. Take away your phone. Once you start watching, pay attention only to the hopefully great show you've chosen, or been forced to watch. You can also try and develop language skills. What I personally do is I put on English subs with Japanese dubs. Once or twice per episode, when they appear, I try to pause and memorize words that I don't know yet in English, or get to learn one new word in Japanese. I look up their translation the next day if necessary. It's obvious that it's much less efficient than real language learning, especially with subs in your mother tongue, but it helps you learn a little bit, and doesn't destroy the enjoyment whatsoever. Finally, develop your own tips, be critical, try and find your own preferred way of watching anime. Even though I have a very big brain, I'm only a stupid internet stranger after all. Well, that's been it for me in this video. I hope you enjoyed. I had a blast recording this. I hope I'll see you soon. And remember, don't forget to eat your vegetables.